Hello, Randy Rain here, and I've been putting out a video every Saturday for many years now. And sometimes things happen, and sometimes the audio won't be very good, and you'll have to either overdub it or do the whole thing over again. And sometimes you just lose the vast majority of all your footage for some odd reason. I don't know. Well, that's what happened here. And when that happens, the only thing you can do is reshoot it, and this time do a complete breakdown. So that's what I'm doing. A complete breakdown of Lay an Egg, the best drunk party game there is. So one of the first things you want to do is use a hair dryer to heat up this decal so it'll come off. This decal's normally right here. You can just heat it up and it'll come off. Now, one of the problems I had was this arm right here. You can notice it's quite distorted. You know, there's really no reason for this thing to be bent and melted and twisted. So I have a feeling whoever tried to get this sticker off did that. You don't need that much heat. If you're putting enough heat that it'll melt this, that's too much heat. It doesn't take that much heat to get the sticker off. Then once you have the sticker off, you can take this. That comes off. Then there's a pin. Pin comes off. And then there's this. You can see how it's warped. Well, that's after me fixing it. It was worse. It didn't even work. That's the best I can get it. But I'll show you that later on. And now you can take off the back. You can go ahead and take these all out. You don't have to remember where they go. It doesn't matter. Now, these 3 screws to take off the gearbox. And that's why you take the top piece off. You can't get this off without taking the top off. And this is the noise maker here. This is what makes the clucking sound. This little thing riding on the gear. And this thing is lifting it up and letting it touch and not letting it touch. And careful with the spring. Don't make it go flying. Now here's the thing I learned. When you lift this up here, see, it'll pivot right here. Pull this up so it comes off. And lift this up and move it to the side here so it's like this, because this is the noise maker and it's going to be rubbing on this gear, and if you don't do this, this causes a lot of problems. You can see here's the simple switch. Now you have 3 screws to get inside the gearbox. And you can see I've been in here already because this orange gear is not original. Neither is that. Neither is that. So let me show you this gearbox. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so the motor is here and it has a 9-tooth gear. So you have to replace this with the 9-tooth gear, which I've already done. And then this gear was broken here. And so was this one. And so was this one. So here's a 10-tooth gear here. You have to replace this most of the time. And this gear, this is an original gear here because this is a slip gear. This is supposed to slip when somebody forcibly stops a little chicken. So instead of grinding the gears, it's going to slip right here. That's what that's for. This gear is an original gear, but these 2 are not. And you can see with this one, this is an orange gear I had, and it didn't have the right gear on it, so I had to put a 10-tooth. So you can see, so basically it's just this gear, and this is the only one I had this size. And it normally has a gear built onto it, which I didn't have that. So it was just a 10-tooth gear. And I can see it kind of wants to slide. You can fix that just by putting some little burrs all through it in the metal here. At different angles and stuff. So now, there. That's much more secure. If this gear's bad, this is how you're going to have to replace it, because I can't find that gear. And it's very strange because it just floats like this. All this back here goes to nothing. And this is where that 9-tooth from the motor is riding on. So the motor is turning this one. And then this 10-tooth is turning this gear. Now this gear is the big problem right here. I have all these crown gears, and the only ones that are the right size are these. But yet every single one of them are idle gears. So you buy assortments of these, and I get none that actually fit a shaft. But boy, I get some of these though. Make sure I get, these, because you use these all the time. So what I'm going to do is use this to fill the hole and then re-drill it the right size. Hopefully this will work. There we go. Now, if I take my heat pin, so here's the best way I know to get a hole back center, is to mount a piece of wood on the table of a drill press. Find a drill bit that is the exact size that this small gear will fit into, and then place that gear into that hole. And then change out the drill bit for the size of shaft that you need, and then drill it all the way through. That one's like dead on. I think that's the one to use. And those are the problem gears of this thing. The 10-tooth here, the 9-tooth on the motor, this gear, and this gear. Because now this gear goes like this and connects to that 10-tooth on that thing, and then this 10-tooth connects to this big one down here, while that one connects up there. So it goes small to big, then small to this crown gear, then small to this one, which is a slip gear, and then goes small down to here to this one to move the whole thing. It's really not complicated. It's just the gears are not easy. And then you have to get it just perfect, just like this, in order to get this thing back together. And if you have this thing pushing on this gear, it is virtually impossible to get back together. You can do it. I've already done a video showing it, but it's not easy. You have to really wrestle with it. I mean, you still have to wrestle with it just now. You just have to really line them up and then try to get this back. This is one of the hardest gearboxes to put back together, and it's really nothing all that complicated. They just don't like to line up for you. There. That was actually just luck. You see, now you can move this thing back. Just bend it up, bend that up. There you go, just like that. If you put a battery in this thing, that's the sound it makes. So turn it on. You don't actually have to take this off, really. I was just kind of showing you how it works. So unless you really need to get in here, I don't think you have to take it off. This is the only one that takes a different screw. You see, that sounds just like chickens. If I put the video of some chickens, look, you can't tell the difference. Of course, I have my own of these, so let's look at mine. It's been a while since I've opened it up anyway. This was one of my very first videos, and I did not know to take this thing off. On mine, I had to change this, of course, this 10-tooth gear. I had to put a 9-tooth, but these were okay. You can see this is what I replaced with the orange and had to make my own little 10-tooth gear here. And then here is that gear. Something. See how hard this one is. I'm going to do this one here. I have two of them. One minute. One minute. Head. Forward. Let's go up to the top chair. I don't forget yesterday. In there. Go, sir. Okay. In there. There. Yeah. There. This goes in here. Just like so. Now if you look at these are the buttons, and you're pushing here, and you can only go so far down. There's a reason. We'll get to that. But now these can go in, and it doesn't really matter what color goes where. And these can only go in one way. And then we just match up the battery door. Of course, I have the battery door. Now here's my little arm, and I had to glue it back. But here's the one for this. You can see even this one is bent a little bit, which is just very strange. But I had to use this one. You can see, look how crooked it is right here. That's the way it's supposed to look. And it just curled like this. And so I had to heat this up with a heat gun and pull it back. And then I got it to go even with this one. Alright, now to put this sticker back, there's so many things I've tried. I don't know what I like anymore, but I'm just using a glue stick. This will sorta hold enough, but you don't want it to be permanent because you got to get in here, you know. So that'll hold enough until you need to get back in here to fix something. Now getting the chicken on here is what always causes the problem with this thing. It's not easy to really figure out. You have right here, this little notch has to go here. This thing right here, this little piece, falls into here. But this piece actually sets on top. So the easiest way to do this is to come in this way and then just push down here. This is why this thing breaks so easily, because it's very complicated on what you're supposed to do. So the way the game works is you have to bop this. You can't just push it down because, as I showed you before, it only goes so far. It stops. And you notice if I push down, that's as far as this thing comes up right here, which is not enough to catch this, which is what you got to do. So you have to bop it. And you can see it comes up like that. And you have to get out in front of this chicken, out in front of this lever, so as it comes by, it's going to hit this lever. And when it does, it moves the chicken and the eggs are laid. There it is, a lay an egg from TOMY, and it works okay. I mean, it doesn't work as good as mine does, but this one was in really, really bad shape. So I did my best. I mean, come on, the thing was melted. So this is the result that you get. So let me turn it on, show you how to play. So there it is, the Lay an Egg. It's not the best one out there, but it works. It's on eBay. If you want to help support the channel, you want one of these Lay an Eggs, go put a bid. Anyway, if you like this video, I sure would appreciate a big thumbs up. If you want to see more, of course, hit the subscribe button and all that stuff. I want to thank these people. These are the patrons. These are the people helping me out. These are the people bringing you the refurbished Lay an Egg, broken down and showing you crazy gear stuff. Anyway, I thank them also very much because I couldn't do any of this stuff without them. And if you'd like to become a patron, of course, there's links and all that stuff. Anyway, that's Lay an Egg, completely broke down. Check out eBay. Thanks for watching. Alright, I have a method I could use with my drill press to get a perfectly center hole. I'm going to try this. If I put these gears together, like that, I should be able to use this as a guide. Yeah, that didn't get it close. Not at all. cancel that method.